Running out of space on Google Photos and looking for an easy way to upload and organize your pictures without paying a monthly fee? Well, I've got a great solution. We've covered how to use Open Media Vault and even how to host Nextcloud on a Raspberry Pi. But today I wanted to show you how to host your family's photos using Immich with the help of Portainer and the Raspberry Pi. Now, setting up Immich involves using a YAML file. And while you don't need to know how to code, it does help to understand what's going on behind the scenes. And thanks to Brilliant, leveling up your skills has never been easier. Brilliant helps sharpen your brain daily with thousands of intuitive and interactive lessons in programming, math, data analysis, AI, and my personal favorite, science. Devoting time to learning a new skill is one of the most rewarding ways to grow both personally and professionally, and Brilliant helps you get there in a few minutes a day. Brilliant achieves this by exercising your critical thinking skills through engaging and intuitive problem-solving lessons, not rote memorization. This way, you're building a valuable knowledge base on specific topics and you're becoming a more strategic thinker. What's more, Brilliant's newly updated programming courses are a fantastic way to start coding. You'll build real-world problem-solving skills that stay relevant as technology evolves. The lessons help you think more like a programmer by breaking down complex problems into manageable steps. You'll get hands-on with coding languages like Python from day one and develop a strong feel for how programming works. And with instant feedback built in, it's engaging and honestly feels more like playing a game than taking a course. To try everything Brilliant has to offer free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/MackeyTech or scan the QR code on screen. When you sign up, you'll receive 20% off an annual premium subscription. I will also leave a link for the 30-day free offer in the video description. And thank you, Brilliant, for sponsoring today's video. Now for this tutorial, I'm using a Raspberry Pi 5 running Raspberry Pi OS Bookworm with 8 GB of RAM off of a 32 GB SD card. I'm also using a 500 GB hard disk drive as external storage for the pictures. Now to keep things simple and more importantly to keep me organized, I'll put the full Immich YAML file as well as step-by-step instructions in a free post over on my Patreon account. There's no cost, you just need to sign up for a free account. Now let's sign into our Raspberry Pi and get started. Okay, so here we are in our SSH session for the Raspberry Pi, and we're going to start by doing a quick update for our Raspberry Pi OS. So we'll do a sudo apt update, sudo apt upgrade, yes. Okay, that's done. Now what we want to do is we want to prepare our external storage drive for the pictures and for the database that Immich will need. So we'll plug in our external drive and let's check our existing mounts, should we have any. So we'll do an lsblk and /f, I should say. And so what we're seeing here, we have my 32 GB SD card here. Here is my external hard drive, and it is a file system type of ext4. Here is the storage capacity, 257 GB, and here is the mount point. So you want to note on your end the device type or the device name over here, the file system type, and you also want to copy and paste what's called this UUID number. So I would highlight this, right click, go to copy, and then paste it to a notepad or a text editor somewhere. We're going to use that in a second. And then also you want to note your mount point. Mine starts with -MNT, which because I've already set mine up, I've already done all this. We'll run through all of the commands so they make sense. On your end, if yours starts with /media, and then your login name, that means that when you plugged it in, Raspberry Pi OS automatically mounted it, which is fine, but we're going to set up an additional one for our media library and one for our database. So the way we do that, do a sudo mkdir, make directory, -p, and then -mnt Immich library. Now, this is what I chose to use. You don't have to use this. You can use whatever you want. Just make sure you write it down and you're consistent with it and remember it for later. Hit enter. And then we're going to manually map it to the external drive. So we'll do a sudo mount /devsda1, and that's for mine. For yours, you want to substitute your own device name, and then we're going to say MENT, and then we're going to space /MNT IMMICH underscore library. And then we want to set up permissions for the mount path for the Immich library. So we're going to do a sudo CHOWN capital R 56856/MNT /IMMICHLIBRAY. Again, you want to use the media library that you have assigned in your own case. The 568 is a dedicated UID for Immich specifically, and then you want to hit enter. Now what we need to do is, now that we've created and assigned the mount point, we need to add it to what's called the fstab file. We're going to do a sudo nano etc fstab. Here is my mount point that I added earlier. So it's a UUID. This is the one that I wanted you to copy over to a notepad or text editor. Here's the mount path. Here is my file system, ext4. You want to put in UUID and then equals, and then you want to paste your mount path in here. And then you put in your file system. The rest is the same. And what this does is that it'll make the mount persistent after you reboot. If you don't, and you just create the mount points and then reboot the computer, it'll erase from memory. So this is why we do it that way. And now we're going to go ahead and create the mount point for the database directory. So we'll do a sudo mkdir p and then mount like before, and IMMICH library /db as in database. I got way too many ICHs in there. So with this one, we're not going to go into fstab to add it because it's in a subdirectory of the mount path that we already created. And we can create as many different subdirectories under here without having to add it to the file that we were just in. So this will be fine the way it is. You want to hit enter. So we'll assign permissions as we did before, a little different this time, /r 999999, because that is the UID for the database Postgres, which is the one we're going to be using for Immich. MNT IMMICH library /db as in database. Hit enter, and now we're going to proceed with installing Docker. First command is going to be curl small f small s capital L, and then https://get-docker.com, and then sudo sh. Now that we have Docker installed, we're going to add our user to the Docker group. So we'll do a sudo usermod -lowercase a capital G $user in caps, and then hit enter. And then what that'll do is that'll add the current user that you're logged in as. In my case, it's Smacky, to the Docker group. And we can confirm that after you've executed that command by typing in groups $user, and here is Smacky, and here is the Docker group. And then you want to do a sudo reboot. So go ahead and reboot, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we are going to start with the Portainer install. First thing we're going to do is we need to make a Docker volume to make sure that our data is protected, or what's called persistent data. So we'll do a Docker volume create Portainer _data. So we'll hit enter. So now we'll go ahead with the actual install, and this is a pretty long line, but essentially you got the two ports right here, 8000 and 9443, and it's going to grab the latest version of Portainer. So we'll open up a new window here to 192.168.1.110, which is my Raspberry Pi address, :9443, and that is our Portainer port number that we're using. And then it's going to ask you to create an admin account. So after you've logged in, you want to click on your local environment right here, and then click on stacks over on the left, and then you want to click on add stack. And after you've created the stack, I want to show you one thing real quick. If we go to the Immich website, they have a number of different support articles in here and instructions on how to set stuff up. I will leave this link in the video description. And then they have a Docker Compose YAML that they've already put together. And to access that, you want to click on this link, save it to our desktop. Here are the port numbers that it's going to be using. And this is the database information down here, the Postgres that we talked about. Essentially, you copy and paste the compose file over to your web editor. So we'll grab all this. You don't have to grab all the comments. Copy and go back to Portainer, and then we're going to right click and go to paste. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what they tell you to do with the instructions, and then I will provide you with the YAML file that I was using. But let's go ahead and use theirs first, and then if you run into issues, you can always use mine. It does say that it wants you to replace the .envs with stack.env. That's the first one. There's only two, I think, in there. And if we go back to the website, it also has a example.env in its GitHub repository. So here's what the example file looks like. All you have to do is you just copy and paste this whole thing. So we'll click on advanced mode, copy, right click, go to paste, and it adds it all in for you. So these are the two locations that up here where it says library and Postgres that we're going to be modifying. Once that's in there, we'll click on simple mode. And now we see that all of that information already in here. So the two things that we want to modify are the upload location and the database location. I'm going to show you the example that I am using. These are the two directories that we made the mount paths for. So that is our upload location and that is our database location. That's why we created those. I did also change the DB host name to Immich_Postgres, and that's one of the modifications that I had to make on my end so it worked. You might not have to do that. Try it out, see if it works. If it doesn't, you can always use mine. Okay, so after that is done, we'll go down to, in your case, it's going to be deploy stack. You want to click on deploy stack. And you'll notice on the bottom here that everything is healthy. This is what you want. And they'll start out as yellow, it'll say starting, and then when it's done, it'll say healthy if everything is good. And you also want to make sure that under the Immich server, you get a published port number when it's done. If you don't, then there's a problem. If you do run into issues, you can click on these little log files here, and it'll tell you everything that's going on. So when that is deployed, you'll get your port number, which should be the 2283. So we'll go ahead and open up another browser window under 2283, which is what this is right here. On your end, you'll have a screen that's going to prompt you to create an admin account. So go ahead and do that, create a password for yourself. It's going to ask you some other questions about how you want to organize your files. And then once you're there, you'll be prompted to log in again. So I'm going to do that right now. One of the things you can check here when you're logged in is you can go down to the bottom here where it says storage space, bottom left. And we mentioned before that my storage was 54457. So we know now that it is using my external hard drive for the images that I upload. So if we go up a little bit more over to the left and click on photos, if I click on upload here, and I'm going to grab all of these images, and there it goes. I just uploaded all of these from my desktop. So if I want to, I can highlight all of them by clicking on this little button up here, and then I'm going to grab these two, and I'm going to click on add to, and then I'm going to select add to album. So I'm going to say Linux pics, and then new album Linux pick, and it says added 10 assets to Linux pick. So I'll click on albums over here on the left, and one is Linux picks. If you want to, you can make the albums ahead of time, and that's super simple by going down to albums and then clicking on create album, give it a title, hit enter. And then if we want to, let's say, create a user for a family member, we click on our avatar here and go to administration, and then we'll go to create user, and you can put an email, password, ask them to change the password when they first log in, and you can assign a quota size if you want to. If I go back to albums here, I can click on the upper right hand corner, there's little dots, click on share, and then I can create a share link, and I can give it a description, I can give it a password if I want to, I can put an expiration date on it. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the iPhone app. Now with the iPhone app, let's log in, and let's say we want to back up the pictures from the phone. So we'll click on the little cloud icon here in the upper right hand corner, click select, and then we can tell which albums we want to back up. One cool feature is that while you're backing up your phone, Immich can mirror your photo albums exactly as you have them on your phone. You can also manage future backups by tapping the gear icon in the top right hand corner. From there, select Turn on Foreground Backup to upload new photos whenever you open the Immich app, or turn on Background Service to back them up automatically even when the app isn't open. And that's it. Everything is set up and working just as we planned. And that's going to wrap it up today, folks. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you're subscribed to Mackie Tech and give us a thumbs up. Also, let us know in the comments if you're planning on replacing your Google or iCloud paid services with Immich, or if you're planning on using something different. As mentioned, I will be posting the instructions for this tutorial on my free Patreon tier, and I also offer direct tech support through my paid tiers if you need a hand. This helps me keep the lights on and stay focused on creating more content like this. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll be talking to you again very soon.